the slide, we'll see the recall part of it. Okay. Today we are going to study a distributional map lesson. But before going to it, let's see what we have studied. That is in the last lecture. We have studied about the Chloropath map. We have studied how to read the Chloropath map, and also we have solved the examples which was there given in your lesson. That means total Chloropath map examples which was given that we have covered. We have also studied isoplath map and how to read it and how to solve it. Now today we are going to revise the dot, choroplath and isoplath method, as well as we'll solve the remaining part of the map. Okay, and the three methods and the additional concept, which is the last concept in your textbook, that is the field visit. So let's move to the first part of the lesson. In short, I will take it. Try to cover all the methods, and because we have already seen this method previously in the lecture, whatever part was not solved, that I'm going to take in detail. Okay, so we'll move. Now, distributional map. Now, this is just a revisional part. We have already covered it. Okay, distributional map. What are distributional map? Okay, distributional map are the map showing the distribution of various geographical variables. They are divided into three parts, that is dot method, choroplath and isoplath method. Now in this lesson, we also have the concept of thematic map. Now these are prepared with a spatial themes. They are called as the spatial purpose map, single topic map or statistical map. Okay, they focus on the spatial variability of the specific distribution or theme. Actually, they are prepared for focusing on the spatial theme. So that is why they are called as the thematic map. Now this method we have already covered. So let's see this method in short. Now let's move towards the first method. We have already seen this. Okay, that is the dot method. Here you can see in the slide the different dots are used to prepare this map. According to the value, the dots are uniform in size. You can see over here they are the same size. Uniform means same size. To show the distribution to the dot method, the values of the dots have to be determined. Now you can see here in the index, the values of the dots are already determined. 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 5 lakh, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. So this way the values are already determined. I have already taught you how to fix the size of the dot in the previous lecture. Okay. So the value of the dot has to be determined. Next step is the highest and lowest value. Means we should fix the size of the dots. You will consider which is the highest value and will consider which is the lowest value. Now we need to consider the density of variable and the scale of the dots on the map. While placing the dot, now some things we have to keep in mind when we are actually placing this dot. You can see that these dots are placed in one direction. They are not put in the whole part of the area which is covered. So why this way? Okay, while placing the dots, you have to keep in mind about the physiography. About the physiography means water sources, transport system, etc. Okay, a region because it cannot show the human settlement. Now, wherever the ocean is there, wherever the sea is there, now you cannot put a dot over there because you cannot show the human settlement living in that water. Again, the highway, when it is passing, in that highway, you cannot show the dots. You cannot show the human settlement in that highway. Whereas the rural population is there, it is shown by the dots, and the urban population is there, it is shown by the circle. Okay, this method is most suitable for the variables which are freely scattered across the region. Now we'll move to the next slide. Now here you can see now this part which we have not covered. Okay, I have shown you all the dot method exercise, but this was not taken in the previous lesson because it comes in the exercise. Okay, let's see what are the instruction given over here. Okay, See the map of Nandurbar. This is figure 1.6. Okay, see it carefully. Now, what is told to you, you have to trace it on the paper and draw the map. Also, population is given for us. We have to decide the value of the dot considering the highest and the lowest. Now, to see the data which is given. Now, the data which is given, see here. Now, the 6 talukas are given in the column. That in Akalkuwa, okay, Akalkuwa also the data is given 2,15,974. Then Akarni, that is 1,89,661. Then Taloda, that is 1,33,291. Then Shahada is 3,46,352. Then Nandurbar is 2,56,409. Then Nawapur is 2,31,134. Now the scale of the one dot. Now scale of the one dot, it is given for us 10,000. Okay. As I told you, we'll go to the next slide. Now, first, what you have to do is that you have to trace the map. Okay. Now we cannot draw it like that. So we have to trace the map with the help of this Nandurbar district. And you're going to prepare the map using the given data. So we'll see in the next. I already prepared this map for you. Now I'll tell you how I have prepared this. Okay. As I told you before that you have to round up the given figure. Now we have seen that the figure, which is 2,15,974. I've already taught you when I was teaching the dot method in detail. That time I've taught you how to round up. Okay. Now that time what I've taught you, you are going to use one formula. Okay. That you're going to use the formula. Now that is total population of each place. Okay. Upon the number of scale what is given. This formula you're going to use. And that time I have shown that is also one method and this is also method. That time we have totally round up in the first and second column. And now I'm going to show you the next method that is also very easy method. Now, because we cannot show a 0.5 variable, so we cannot put anywhere half dot. So we have to round up the data wherever required. So first, thing you can see over here in the table, the data is rounded up. Okay, now 2,15,974 of Akalkuwa. Now, formula I told you, that is the total population of each state upon that is divided by number of scale, that is 10,000. So 2,15,974, you're going to directly divide by 10,000. And when you're dividing it, you will get 21.59. Okay, now 59. Now see this 21.59. You can see on the slide. Now 59, if you considered the what I told you in the previous lecture, if the number is more than 50, you're going to take it into consideration the next number. So you're going to round it up. So 21.59 is equal to, you have to increase the number because 59 is more than 50. So you will consider it as a 22 dot. So it is very simple. You're going to first, what you have to do, you have to take the each state data and then you have to divide it by whatever the scale was given, and then totally what answer you're getting. On that answer, you see whether the variable, what answer you're getting, whether it is more than 50, then you will take the next number, that is 21.59. We got the answer. So we are considering at a 22 dots. So very, very simple. Now let's go to the next place, that is Akarni. Now Akarni, what is the population over here? That is 1,89,661. So this particular population, you're going to directly divide by the 10,000. Okay. And when you're dividing this 1,89,661 by 10,000, then you will get 18.96. Now again the same case. Now this 96 is greater than 50. Now when it is greater than 50, so 18 means you're going to consider these as a 19 dots. Now we'll move to the third one, that is Taloda. Taloda is 1,33,291. Okay, let's divide it by 10,000. When you're dividing this particular thing by 10,000, you will get at the answer 13.32. Okay, now see over here. Now this is something different. 32 is not more than 50. So what you will do here, you're not going to increase the dot over here, but you're going to consider the same dots. Means you will not consider about 32 points. So 13 dots, only 13 dots you will take. Then we'll move to the fourth one, that is Shahada. Okay, Shahada, what is the population? 3,46,352. This particular thing, again, you're going to divide by 10,000. That is the scale of one dot. And here, after dividing, you can see on the slide, the answer is 34.63. Okay. Now here this 63 is more than 50. So your 34 is now become 35 dot. Now Nandurbar is 2,56,409. So this 2,56,409 divided by 10,000 scale. So you will get the answer 25.64. So here 64 is greater than 50. So you're going to consider it as a next number, that is the 26. So Nandurbar will represent 26 dots. Then Nawapur is 2,31,134 divided by 10,000. So is equal to how much? 23 dots. 23.11 actually coming. So 11 is actually here a lower number than 50. So we are going to consider it as a 23 dot. So in this way, you're going to fill the map. See, I've already filled for you. Okay. As I told you, you can take an empty refill. So here on the slide, there is one procedure, how you're going to have a uniform dots. Now, I have done it with the help of a sketch pen, but those are not uniform. But what you have to do it is that to get a uniform dots, what you have to do is that close the back end of the refill. Okay, empty refill, you have to close the back end with the cotton. Press this end on a stem pad and draw the imprints of the dots in the map. I've just used a pen over here, but you can take this to get a uniform. So remaining map reading of the dot we have already done in the previous lecture. So this I have filled the Nandurbar district map. So here you can see somewhere the dots are there. For example, Shahadi, if you considered, I have left the middle part that is blank. So maybe the river is passing through it, or maybe the transport system is passed through it, because we have seen, we can refer the map which is given as a question for us, and they have shown the transport system, they have shown the river which is passing through it. So you cannot put a dot over there. So that is why the middle place is kept empty over there. So I hope you must have understood, and this we have not covered in the previous part. So this method, this dot method, this particular exercise, now we have covered. So we'll go to the next part. Now let's move to the next method, and that is a choropleth method. We have already done it. So just a revision part of it, because we have covered all the exercises which was there in this particular map. So you can see the slide here. This is a choropleth map. And this choropleth map, the data regarding various geographical variable is shown by the shade or the tint, okay, of various color. While making such a map, the data used for the different variables are obtained through process such as the measurement or survey. So this particular data is obtained by the surveying or measurement. Now in this method, only one value is given and the whole colored area. For example, a north of in Chikaldhara population is less, but in south population, it may be more in that particular part of Chikaldhara. But the color which you have used, that is the same color, okay? But the whole color is same. So this is the limitation of choropleth map. Now we cannot show over here now that Chikaldara, one part it will be more and one part it will be less. But we cannot show that way in color, because whatever the total population is considered, that only color we are going to put in that particular part of the place. So that is why you cannot show accurate information in this choropleth map, and that creates a limitation for this choropleth map. Highest and the lowest value of data is taken into consideration. Okay, and after that 5 to 7 classes are made. Each class is assigned a tint of a same color. Now that is the shade of the same color is used over here. Okay, that is from the darker to the lighter shade will represent, and the darker shade will represent the highest value, and the lighter shade will represent a lowest value. And even black and white pattern is used to show the variables in the choropleth map. Now, once again, students, I want to remind you regarding the direction which is given. Okay, in the map, if you know how to read the direction, then it will be very easy for you to answer any questions regarding this map. As I've told you earlier, the technique previously in the lecture, once again, I'll remind you the same technique. Now, see, the direction is given. Below the map in the one corner, the direction is given showing the arrow of north direction. And other you are going to find out. Okay, opposite of north, it is very, very easy for you. That is the down part, that is south. Now to the right side, remember student the technique which I told you. Okay, now how to remember the right and left. Now sun rises in the east, remember this statement. Now rises considered R as a right side. Okay, just for your consideration, just for your clue, considered rises as the right side. R from rises as the right side, and then you can understand that right side is the east. Okay, that means opposite is west. So this, if you are knowing this direction, then you'll able to answer any questions regarding this map. Now we have already solved all the choropleth map from your textbooks. Now remember one point while using the colors. Okay, this is also one point that you have to remember in the choropleth map. While using the colors, now not going to use too many colors. You're not going to use the too many colors, but you're going to take a one color, and accordingly you're going to make this shades or make the tint lighter and lighter to show the different values. Okay, this is regarding the choropleth map. Okay, we'll move further to the next slide, and this is the isopleth map. Now, some limitations were there in the choropleth map. To overcome the limitations, this isopleth map was shown to us. The concept was came. Now, isopleth method you can see here on the slide. The color pattern is also there, as well as the lines are also there. They are joining the values. If you see the map carefully. This already we have taken in the previous lecture. Okay, they are joining the equal values. Now, these lines you must have seen in the previous classes. These lines you must have seen in the previous classes. And these are isotherms for counting the equal temperature. When you want to show any type of temperature, values of temperature, then isotherms are used. Isotherms for equal temperature, isobars for equal pressure, then isoheights for equal rainfall, then isobars that is for equal depth, isoseismal for earthquake intensity, then isohalines for equal salinity. Then one more concept was that contour lines. Okay, contour line is to count the elevation or the height. That is also the example of isopleth map. Okay, we'll go to the next. Okay, here you can see on the slide. Now steps to prepare the isopleth map. Now, first, the highest and the lowest value of the variables should be considered. Now, you're going to consider which is the highest and which is the lowest value. Now, refer to the accurate data. Now, for this isopleth map, what you need is the accurate data. from the sources you're going to get it, and try to show it by the lines. Join the places, lines which is having the equal value, and the lines which are closer, they are showing the sharp inclination. If the lines are away from each other, okay, the change is gentle over here. The change is not that sharp. Also, the highest value is shown by the darker shade and the lowest value is shown by the light color, that is a lighter shade. Now let's solve this map, okay, which is their Kolhapur district, and your textbook 1.5, which we have not solved in the previous lecture, that is the rainfall of Kolhapur district. Now see this map carefully. The darker shade of blue, here also one color is only used, only the shades are lighter and darker. Now the darker shade of the blue is having the more intensity of rainfall, that is 2400, and then the shade is getting lighter, that is 1800, then 1200, and then 600. Also see the direction, okay? Also see the direction given by the arrow. Here the whole region is having the single value, and that is one end to the next end. You will see the same value is there from one end to the next end. Now, which is written in the middle. Okay, this we have already seen why the same value is given in the isopleth map from one end to another end. Suppose if it rains in Bandra, if it rains in Chembur, if it rains in Govandi, then the whole area, it will be raining. Only the intensity will be have little difference. So that time one part is not considered, but the whole line is considered. And that is why you can see the whole area is given only one value, and it is written in the middle. Because the same line, all the regions which are falling on the same line, they are actually having the same value, and that is why instead of writing both the ends, they have written it only in the middle. Now this is regarding the map reading. Now we have understood what actually the map represents. Now we'll move to the question answer part of it. In which direction is the rainfall more in the district? Now here it is asked the first question regarding your direction. So which direction it is? Now you can see the darker shade which is there. It is in the west direction. So in the west direction, the rainfall intensity is more. The rainfall is more. Now in which direction is the rainfall decreasing? Now decreasing means you are going to go to the lighter shade. And that is the lighter shade you can see here in the east. Now the third question, which class? Now they are asking you not of the direction, they are asking you class. Remember students, first read the questions carefully which are given, try to understand it and then answer it. Which class shows the low rainfall category in the district? Now here go to the value part. Now which class is shown here, the less rainfall category? That is 600, but you are not going to write directly as 600, but you will consider it as 0 degree to 600 millimeters. So you will write 0 to 600 millimeters. Now come to the fourth question. Which class shows the highest rainfall category in the district? Again, here the classes asked. You are going to go to the value table, okay, same table, and see the darkest shade. Okay, here it is asked that which class shows the high rainfall. So you're going to consider the darker shade. Now, what is the value of this darker shade? The value of the darker shade is 2400 to 1000 millimeters considered, because the 2400 above only you're going to show. Now you cannot show below 2400 because here it is asked like 2000 highest rainfall. So you will take the same differences what is been shown in the previous classes, and that only particular you're going to tell. So 2400 to 3000 millimeters is the highest class shown over here. Now next question is, Which method has been used for preparing the map? Now you're knowing it very, very easy. Isoplat map. So now these isoplat maps are used in the different field to show the climate data, to show the areas with the same pressure, rainfall, temperature, also show the altitude with the same height, that is by using the contour lines, and used in showing the seismic waves, okay, seismic waves which are used to measure the magnitude of earthquake. Now we have taken already enough information about this three method, that is the Choropleth method. We are knowing everything about dot method. We are knowing everything about isoplat method. We are knowing how to read all these three types of map, as well as we are knowing how to make the maps. We are knowing everything, means to answer the questions, the directions and all. So now there is no need to come again to all these three types of method. So we are going to move further, the part which we have left back in the previous lesson. So in the previous lecture, we have not covered it, okay, and that is the field visit. Okay, you can see on the slide a beautiful pictures over here, the field visit. Now, field visit is an important study method in geography. So this particular term you must have heard in the previous classes also, because it's very much related with geography. So geographical concept and elements can be directly experienced through the field visit. Means if you want to study any element and have a clear idea about it, then you're going to visit to that particular place to study the element. Field visits are extremely useful, okay, for the understanding correlation between humans and environment. When we study geography, we are actually understanding about humans, their lifestyle, their settlement, how it is related with environment. The purpose of field visit or the trip. Now, what is the purpose of field visit? Why the people are actually want to have a field visit? Why they are going for the field visit? The purpose of this field visit or this trip is to explore the key elements in human geography. It is the first-hand observation for students, and the students are very much interested in visiting the places. It creates an interest in the geography instead of just looking in the picture, instead of just getting an information through the theory part. So when you visit that particular place, you will also enjoy it. It will be remain in your brain forever. Okay, so the geography subject will look very interesting for the students. See students in front of your school. Now for this field visit, it's not necessary that you have to go very far, or you actually have to organize a trip and all. Means actually, if you want to see those kind of element, you have to go over there. But in front of our school also, or nearby area also, there are various elements of geography which you observe daily, but you don't think why they are that way. What we call for those things, okay, what we call for those elements, you can also experience now in front of the school. When you observe the ground, okay, you can understand what is the plain area. Then you can also experience the highway, if the highway is passing in front of your school. Sometimes schools are having the vegetation, those are the trees. Okay, there you can study the different type of a tree, what are the deciduous trees, how the leaves are shading in particular season. Okay, you can also make the different experiment, climate change, sometime eclipse, sometime when there is a solar eclipse and all. So that time the geography teachers, especially, they are very much interested in showing their students about the eclipse, okay, with the spatial precaution. But there are some elements. Now this is regarding like whatever element which you can cover even sitting in your school. But there are some elements where you actually have to go for the field visit. And if you're going somewhere, suppose if you're going in the market also, you need a preparation. You have to carry the bag, you have to carry the list, you have to carry the money and all. So for field visit also you need a preparation that we'll see in the next slide. Now, preparation for the field visit, first is the planning of place. Planning is very necessary. First, you will decide the place where actually you're going to visit and why. Means what is the purpose, what you actually want to see over there. The element which will be observed in the field visit should be decided. For example, if you want to see the slope of the land or the valley or the river or the deltas, so we have to decide the place where this actually you can see. It is always necessary to decide the distance, transport route, etc. How the teachers are going to take the students. That means the means of transport. And very important is the duration of field visit because we have to cover it in a school hours. So that is the duration timing. Okay. How much time the field visit will take. Accordingly, the instructions will be given by teachers to the students. And the next is the preparing questionnaire. Now, students should prepare a questionnaire with the help of teachers. Now, what is this questionnaire? Okay, questionnaire means the set of questions. You're going to first decide what you will going to ask the villagers. If you're going, suppose if your teacher is taking you to the field visit of village, then you will ask the villagers like whatever questions comes in your mind, so that you are going to first write and keep in your book. So this is regarding your questionnaire. So prepare the questionnaire. Okay. Now next is that the selection of study area. Now geographical field visit is organized for the study of various elements. The various elements are studied over here. Physical landforms are studied. Then river banks are studied. Then dams are studied. Coastal areas, tourism sites, offices, museums related to geographical element. Then villages, forest areas, etc. Now, element should be selected, as I told you earlier. For that, it is important to study the local condition of that area. And if you want to visit such area, then it's very, very important. See on the see the second point which is there on the slide, that is the permission, regarding permission of authority. Now, what you have to do is that a formal letter, okay, should be sent by the school to the particular place authority, because you cannot just go into any part without anybody's permission. So this is very, very important point. Now, this is regarding preparation. One more important thing, that is what we have to carry over there. Now, we cannot simply go over there without some essential things. Now, things which are needed. Okay, for the field visit students, you must carry a notebook, specimen questionnaires that you're going to, that will be prepared. You can take the help of your teachers. Then pen, pencil, scale. Okay, if you want to measure something, then scale, tape, compass, a bag for collecting samples. If you're visiting the seaside and all, you can collect the samples from there. Even on the landforms, you can collect the stones over there and see the textures of the stones, what type of stones they are, metamorphic, what type of stones you must have studied in the previous lessons. Then maps, very important map also you must carry with you. If you want to click and photos of the slide, okay, then cameras are also needed, because these things are very much needed in your field visit. So this is regarding the selection of study area. Now we'll move to the next slide. Okay, very important part. Here on the slide, you can see the precautions to be taken, very, very important in the field visit. Now, it is very important to ensure the safety of ourselves and others during the field visit. The teachers will pay attention, that teachers are going to pay attention that students' safety and their own safety will be taken, as well as the students should also think about their safety. Very important that the students, you should obey the instructions given by the teachers. You should not go to the unknown remote places, because when you're going to any part, when you're going to any field visit, nearby, when you're standing in the group, sometimes the students like to explore on their own the remaining part, or to go in the remote place, but it may be very risky over there. During the field visit, always you're going to wait in the group. Suppose if you are going in any zoo, Or suppose if you're going in any forest for the field visit, and if you go to the remote part and you may miss the road over there, you may miss the direction, you may miss your group, and you will be left alone over there, and even wild animal can harm you. So it's very important that you should be in a group. If you leave the group and go somewhere, then you will be in the problem. Then you should try to understand the local circumstances by conversing or talking with the local people. When your teacher is meeting the local people, when you are taken towards the local people, try to see carefully, try to observe all the things carefully. Okay, how they are conversing, how they are talking. Even you're given the chance to ask the question to the people over there, locality, so you're going to ask the question to the peoples. Then the next part is always carry the first aid box for the emergency, because anything can happen. And if you are in the remote part of the village, the medical facilities are not there. If the medical facilities are not there, then what you're going to do? So because of one person, now the whole group cannot run here and there. So that is why what you have to do is that school is going to take that, as well as the whatever necessary medications. If you want, you can take along with you. So those are the medical facilities or the first aid box. So after having your field visit, now that is also one part is remaining, which is there on the slide. Do not harm the environment. When you're going into, when your field visit is taken in the garden, you cannot just pluck the flowers over there. You cannot harm when you're when you're taken in the zoo. You cannot harm the animals over there. So do not harm the environment. If you're taken a field visit to the nearby fort, so you cannot write anything on the walls of the fort, which I have already told you in the lesson tourism regarding this. So do not harm environment is a very, very important point you're going to follow, students. So we'll go to the last point, which is there in your textbook. Okay, that is the report writing. Now, this report writing you must have already studied in the language, that is the English language, and 3 languages also you having. But in English language, you must have studied what is the format of writing the report. Okay. Now, this report writing is a little different than your format of English report writing. Now, what is there? The points over here. The field report should be written on the basis of information obtained. You should add photographs, okay? To make your report looks very attractive, you can add a photograph if you're having. And you're going to follow the points like introduction. Now, if you're going to the village, then introduction where you're going and all introduction part you will write. Then the location map and the route map. Okay, then you will tell about the physiography, climate, population, environmental problems, then how the land is utilized over there, how much land is utilized for farming, how much land is utilized for settlement, and all these answers you're going to get when you're conversing with the people. So based on this, you can write a beautiful report. If you want your report to look very beautiful, then you can add a beautiful pictures in that. Okay, you're taking a camera, so you can click a beautiful pictures and you can paste it in your report. So your report will look very beautiful. So students, now with this, report writing was the last concept. We have completed the lesson distributional map. Okay, students, thank you.